Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.
And we're back with another episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos. It is Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from the Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you watching and listening and catching all of our great shows. And if you can, if you're listening on audio podcasts like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please give us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, if you are on our wonderful YouTube that's out there, go ahead and just give us that like, give us that subscribe. Go ahead and check us out each and every time out because we provide twice a week the latest news and information on the world of pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Josh, just ignore the chat. There's just an ignoramus on there. Just my fellow person in crime over there that hosts for the Lakers Fast Break. You can just ignore him, Josh. It's okay. That's okay.
All right.
It's okay. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he threatens me all the time. And if you want to see us go back at it, back and forth, along with the rest of the crew and the rest of the audience, go ahead and check us out there at the Lakers Fast Break as well. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without my good friend. It is, of course, the mastermind behind all that he sees and hears on the Super BS Games Cast, along with Brian. Of course, also as well, he is the mastermind behind Humanica Media and, of course, the Happy Hoarder. It is my good friend. Unlike you, Joe, to you, it is Josh Peterson. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Hey, so weird thing this weekend or on Friday, I just happened to be, you know how we at Super BS were talking about like Pokemon card availability, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to be, it was just fate. I walked into Target right as they had a new stock of Pokemon cards, right? So they were like,
Mm-hmm.
instead of they're limiting you now, it's like 2 SKUs. So I was able to get like 2 trainer boxes, one for me, one for one for my wife because she's trying to build her own deck, and I gotta tell you, man, like I have seen people go crazy on Black Friday working at Best Buy, but never have I ever seen the way that people are acting trying to get Pokemon cards. It's absolutely nuts.
Absolutely. It's crazy. What can I tell you, my friend? Video games right around 2020 and the pandemic, they shot up and everybody was clamoring around video games. It is transitioned heavily over to Pokemon. And it's funny because you see all these video game retailers, you hear the interviews now these days, and they are quickly transitioning as fast as they can. Even our own friends at Retro City Games has now a good part of its store devoted to Pokemon. It's just that simple. They are wise and they are understanding that the profit potentials, even in this uncertain climate that we have right now, is still really good as far as Pokemon. That's one of the few things as of late, Josh, that has not fallen in value.
I know it's crazy too. So you have the two groups of people, right? You have the scalpers and the people who actually like collect and play the cards. And the scalpers are, it's hard to tell who's who, but I mean you can usually tell by when you go into a store, like how, like body language, who is there to scalp and who is there to actually collect, because the scalpers are the ones that will like knock old ladies over just trying to get a box of cards, and the ones who collect are the ones who are a little more like shy, just trying to get in there and grab one. But yeah, it's the I know I've said this on Super BS, but it's the PSA grading system, man. Like that
Mhm.
has, ever since that, I mean, you can take a $5 pack of cards and turn it into a $300 investment, and it's like that's what is getting people. There's the new Journey Together set. There is a a Clefairy in there that if you get it graded, it's worth about $4,000 with a perfect 10, mind you. But yeah, people are, they're either buying them to get them graded, or they're buying them to turn around for a price. Because a booster box used to cost me at with my wholesale prices about $100 a box, and you could as a at retail we'd sell the packs for $5, make a $2 profit on each of them. But now the price of a booster box has gone up 100%. Like it's now $210 per box, if that. I mean, there's some that go all the way up into 260. So it's crazy, and like everyone keeps saying, "Oh, the levee's going to break, the levee's going to break, prices will come down," and they have not, man. They've just held steady.
Absolutely. Crazy out there, but if you are up to date on Pokemon or want to really get into it, it's going to be hard now because it's. Do you think this is the peak of Pokemon right now? Do you think this is the peak of Pokemon collecting?
Everyone, how many times have we maybe like thought that over the years? Like we thought uh COVID was going to be the peak of Pokemon collecting because the scalpers were nuts during COVID. And
Hmm.
then people are like, "Oh, it couldn't get much worse than that." And then here we go. And then for a long time, you could go into Walmart or Target on any given day and find Pokemon cards. But now it is every time it has found a new ceiling. And every time that happens, and you're like, "Oh, it won't get any worse than this," it does. Like I just never underestimate, especially with like there's more and more bot programs out there for people,
Yeah.
grabbing stuff up online. That's why GameStop doesn't sell online anymore. Target, only their secondhand sellers sell online now. Even going into there's Costco's and Sam's Club, like some of them are opting out of even selling Pokemon cards because it's causing too much property damage.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Pokemon is something that if you want to stay tuned to it, we'll go ahead and keep on reporting what's going on there, both here and the Super BS Gamescast. So if you have any questions on Pokemon trading or collecting, just go ahead, let us know here in the comments below or at popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. Well, we got a great show, lots to discuss. I tell you what, going into this weekend or going into this week, Josh, I think the movie industry heading into CinemaCon still one of my last bastions, Josh. I still have like that and Comic Con are the last two places I need to go ahead and get press passes to before I feel like it's complete. My pop culture adventure is complete. But this past week, it was kind of down. It's kind of down going in there because the mood was not good because of what is going on right now in the world of the box office. Numbers are down. The movies that were expected to do well have not. So heading into this past week of CinemaCon, it did not look good. But lo and behold, before we get into CinemaCon, the Minecraft movie came out. And
Mm-hmm.
you've always talked about this, about movies that are review proof. No matter what reviews are thrown at it, there is still some IP that really the first time out or even the second time out are still going to be able to go ahead and be able to bring out a great number. And you called it. I thought that because of the state of the box office and because people don't want to go out to the movies, I was really thinking that this was going to be another ho hum weekend. And boy, was I dead wrong, Josh.
Yeah. Okay, so I've been having this talk with my students literally all week. They're talking about going to the Minecraft movie. They made even like special shirts to go and sit in this movie. They hand drew shirts with different like Minecraft lingo on it. So I told you that
Mhm.
the movie was going to break 300 million on opening weekend,
Yeah,
right?
I thought it was going to do 180 domestic worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and here we are. But here's the thing. People aren't going to see this movie necessarily because it's a good movie. Like all my students are going to see it like ironically, right? Because they're like, "Oh, we're just going to go see that movie to be part of the the
It's an
spectacle."
event movie. It was
It
made an event movie, and I did not recognize it as an event movie, Josh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, naturally, look at the cast. You see, oh, a movie with Jack Black and Jason Momoa. That's gonna be like a B grade movie at best. Like having a
But
movie with
also because of the advanced reviews, as far as when the trailer came out, people were really not happy with it. They didn't say, like in Sonic's case, if you remember the first Sonic trailer that ever came out, people were poo-pooing on that as well. But
yeah
they went out of the way. The producers said they were going to change it. They ultimately did, and look at them 3 movies later. In the case of Minecraft, they didn't do anything, and even though that the general views are negative, most of them say it's a funny first part, first 2 acts, but then it devolves into just generic CGI stuff in the third act. It's the power of the IP of Minecraft, the most popular video game of all time, that I think brings it on home, which again, I underestimated, Josh, but you called it right on the money.
I just had a feeling, man. I knew that this movie was not going to bomb just because, like I said, people were going to see it even just to make a joke out of it. And
Yeah.
that is here we go. Here we are. I don't necessarily know if it's going to cross $1 billion because I mean we'd have to see what the numbers are tomorrow because I think right now it shows it's like 1 million over 300 million, but I mean, it's very possible, man. It is very possible that it could cross $1 billion. And you never know with Minecraft fans, man. You get on there, there could be a petition online like make this movie cross $1 billion, and they'll make it happen, man. Don't ever
Yeah,
underestimate Minecraft
they
fans.
will, because they'll go in their groups, they'll go into forums.
Hmm.
As far as talking to each other, communicate it, you have to support this movie. And again, 157, 300 is what it's looking like domestically, internationally, which is a huge, huge opening. Even the studio themselves expected only an 80, 180 themselves. So this is beyond even their expectations. It is
Yeah.
JSJ, the #1 movie in the world, and it's not even close, which again was great for the business, for the box office, as we'll get into with CinemaCon. But right now, this is a much needed boost. And I think the theater owners in North America are breathing a sigh of relief today.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like this is I mean, this could also set a very dangerous trend. What other ridiculous video game properties can we make movies out of? I mean, they tried and failed with Borderlands, but I mean, and Roblox 2 was not successful, but Minecraft, who knows? We could see a Fortnite movie pop up here. We could see um what else are kids playing these days?
Well,
I don't
that's
know.
the thing.
Call
It has to have a following or be a well-made movie. It has to be either one. If it's not, like Borderlands does not have a good enough following, and it had to be a really good movie to succeed. And Josh, that's why. Fortnite, I think, can follow this same exact formula. It could be just something generic, not well received by the critics, but still do huge at the box office, Josh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it definitely can. You know, we saw Gran Turismo didn't do so well in theaters, but on home video it's had quite the legs on it. But yeah, I mean it's like I said, it could set a very dangerous precedent, but also like it just goes to show you like people aren't like the art house films. People are not interested in watching those in the theaters anymore. It's a shame, but it's just the theater industry has to adapt to these movements or else they're going to die. And if studios want to have successful things that bring in money, like they have to be event films because as we've seen, those are the only ones that are making any money.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, my friend. But it is, of course, the huge success of Minecraft. Don't worry about it. We got it covered for you all the time. But the key is, of course, the second week, Josh. Second week of the pop culture cosmos is going to be something that we're going to have to see how it works out. But yeah, second weekend I think is crucial. The second weekend I think for this movie is crucial for its ultimate success.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I absolutely agree. And like I said, we could be looking at $1 billion movie here. Who knows?
Yeah. If I'll tell you what, if it does well and it holds well over a second weekend, Josh, You could be right for our second $1 billion movie of the year. We can't forget the huge success in China, Ne 2 at 2.1 billion. It looks like it's just going to finish just under 2.2 billion dollars for that movie. But yeah, if we can get a Minecraft to kick off the movie season, who knows? Maybe this will be a landmark movie for the not only for that IP but also for the movie industry as well. Which, if you would just read into the tea leaves at CinemaCon, which we'll discuss here in a second, people are looking more towards all the projects coming up next year as opposed to what's coming out
The
this
rest of
year.
this
But
year.
yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully that will change. Your thoughts out there on the success, the huge success of the Minecraft movie. Please let us know. Popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. Well, my friend, it was CinemaCon this past week here in Las Vegas. Again, still can't get a press pass for this. It is one of the hardest
Every
deals to get
year, man, they get that
every
rejection letter
year.
in the mail.
I keep asking. CinemaCon and Comic Con, still waiting, still waiting. But I'll tell you what, when I go or if I go, I will just be having a blast, and I will savor every moment of it. But getting to the fact, CinemaCon out there is the annual convention of theater owners. And in the past, it was just a small venue with a small gathering of theater owners. But in recent years, because of the fact that I guess to spike up excitement because they know the news, bills out into the public anyways, the studios send all their biggest and brightest, their stars. They show footage there. There's in some cases like Top Gun Maverick, I believe, was shown there first in its entirety before anywhere else. Yeah, they just go ahead and will show you things there that you don't get to see as regular consumers. And this weekend, this past week, they really went out of their way to go ahead and let the theater owners know that they got their back as far as being able to showcase a lot of stuff. But the first thing I want to ask you, theater owners, of course, they're really still in a battle with the streaming outlets. Your thoughts? Obviously, the vocal word there that was rising up because of the troubles of theaters that they're going through financially. The talk of going back to a 45-day theatrical window before anything is released out on digital or streaming. That was brought up. Your thoughts on this, my friend? Do you agree with it or not agree with it? I think once you let the genie out of the bottle, I don't think you'll be able to put it back in without some real fan dissent that's out there, Josh.
Yeah, so the theater. It's funny that you mentioned the theater. What's your original question? I think you skipped out a minute. What was your question?
Oh, my question is when it comes right down to it, the 45-day theatrical window. I think a lot of people out there,
Yeah.
once you let that genie out of the bottle, it's really hard to put it back in.
Yes. Okay. So the the theater owners, as we've seen, like they're resorting to ridiculous gimmicks, right, to try to get people back into theaters, including the collectible popcorn buckets. But what's killing the movie theaters are the same people that are putting movies into them. Like it's the studios. It goes back to the studios. Every single studio has a streaming service now, and so they're sending movies to the theaters and then saying like, hey, don't worry about it. If you don't go watch this movie, you wait 3 weeks and you'll be able to watch it on a streaming service. Like what? How does anybody expect to make money off of that? Like, how do you expect to keep the movie industry alive with a market like that? It doesn't make any sense. It's like saying like, hey, um, you can have this shark, but it's also gonna bite your hand off when you try to feed it. It's just it's a model that makes no sense, and they really need. I know COVID kind of set all this stuff in motion, but I mean, yeah, they all really need to go back to the drawing board and rethink this model because it is killing an industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the problem, though. Again, with all the big money that's involved, I think what it will do is, like you said, the art house movies. There's a lot of movies that are coming to theaters, Josh. Still, that you look at them and you say, "Why did that movie come out to theaters? It did
Yeah.
horribly." And whether it's well reviewed or not, it doesn't matter. It should have just never been on that platform. It just should have gone. If it would have went on a Netflix or another streaming outlet and been really promoted well, it probably would have been something that would have hit. Because we've even seen lousy movies on Netflix, if promoted properly, Josh, they do well.
Mhm.
And so it boggles my mind that still I think people just don't understand what movies are ripe that for going to the theaters and which movies aren't. And I just think that there needs to be a better understanding of that. But as far as the 45-day window, I don't know if that's going to really get across to the mass audience with any acceptance. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe selected movies can follow that path. They do anyways already,
Yeah.
because they're still, if it's a hit movie, it's not going to come out on digital or streaming anytime soon. So I think people have to understand which movies need to be allocated for that 45-day theatrical window and which ones don't. I just don't think you should throw a blanket at this point in time, because we've seen a lot of movies right now. They go out to they're sent to the box office in the theaters just to die.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head, right? Like people are not going to the movies because they're waiting to see these on streaming platforms, and the only are trying to figure out what they want to go to see in the theaters. If there's a movie they want to see in the theaters, people will go see it. I mean, look at Minecraft, Captain America. What I don't know how Captain America didn't do so great, but like the films that people want to see in the theaters, they will go see it in the theaters. But the other ones, like people just won't. They would rather, if it's something that they're unsure about, then they're going to just wait till it comes out on streaming. And because of that, like it these studios should be taking notes on like what people are actually wanting to watch, and or go to the theaters to see it. And even if you have to create two different divisions, like this part of our studio makes stuff for streaming, this part of our studio makes stuff for theaters, that would be the smart thing to do.
So, getting to CinemaCon and a lot of the stuff that was showcased there. First off, I do want to mention, when it came down to Disney, of course they were leaning heavily on what's upcoming with the Marvels. Kevin Feige from the set of Avengers Doomsday zoomed in and talked about what was going on with the Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, and I believe they showcased footage from each of those movies there at Comic Con. But was Disney's the thing that got us excited, you and I excited, I think first and foremost, is that Tron Ares is a thing, and Tron Ares is actually a thing that's been actually now to the point where the trailer and the footage that was shown off at CinemaCon was shown out to the real public, which is something that's not often done. But the trailer did come out. And what are your thoughts on Tron Ares? You and I are big supporters of the Tron movies. I really think that Tron Legacy is low key really good. Your
Yeah.
thoughts on Tron Ares if it can follow in that footsteps?
Okay, so I know they've been a real hush hush right now on whether or not Garrett Hedlund's coming back for this one, but
Hmm. Or
I
Olivia
hope,
Wilde?
or Olivia Wilde, but I mean, I want to at least see Garrett Hedlund come back, because that would create. I want continuity. Like I don't want them just to like jump into um a new chapter and not like reference anything that's happened before. Obviously, we have Jeff Bridges, and they're probably going to computer animate him to be uh look how he looked in Tron Legacy. But no, I'm excited to watch it. Like Jared Leto, I like him as an actor, and it was cool seeing like the two worlds start to merge with each other. So like I am definitely looking forward to this one. And I don't know, I mean, I hope that it's gains legs for the franchise, but it's like, as we always talked about before, like when you have the original movies come out so many years ago, it's hard for people to go back and want to watch the rest of them.
But Jeff Daniels, not Jeff Daniels, Jeff Bridges will be there. He was actually, if you heard him voiceover in the movie, so he's going to be associated with them. He actually was there at CinemaCon, helped promoting the film, so he is going to be a part of the movie at some point in time. I don't know about Bruce Boxleitner. I would love to have seen him be in it, but I know that there are other individuals that they created uh, for this Gillian Anderson character. I think it rumored to be part of the organization that Encom, if I remember correctly, for that as well. Cillian Murphy, Cillian
Yeah, I
Murphy.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, he is not part of it too. So this is going to be a new sibling of the Dillinger character, who was the original bad guy. So I don't know where they're going to go. Yeah, I don't know who they could get and not get from the last Tron Legacy movie. Like you said, there's so many years apart from the original to the sequel, and to now this. It's an IP that Disney likes to use out of its back pocket, whether it's for the Disney World, the theme park ride, or for an animated feature as far as the series, which actually is very low key good. If you ever got there, go ahead and check out the Tron series. It was actually pretty good, the animated series. But yeah, it's not something that they put at the forefront. It's something that they reach in their back pocket to. So we'll see what happens, my friend. But I'm excited for a new Tron on the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the other things that I wanted to really mention to you as well is that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to get a spiritual sequel
On
as
Netflix.
Cliff Booth. Yes, Cliff Booth actually will return. Brad Pitt will return as Cliff Booth in a script written by Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino, okay, he is the right to do whatever he wants, but the way he's leaving out as far as projects that he says he's going to direct, like The Critic, they fall off the face of the earth, other stuff. He says he's morphing The Critic script into this movie, but it's going to be directed by David Fincher. For some reason, he's just afraid to direct, because he said he's going to only direct one more film. That's what he said. But seemingly, he's just really petrified of not being able to go ahead and direct that last movie, whatever it is going to be. But it is going to be a return for Cliff Booth's character, Brad Pitt, who is also there to promote F1, his movie there that's coming out very soon this summer. Where he plays a washed-up NASCAR driver that's training a Formula One driver to drive, which is, if you understand Formula One, that's hilarious in and of itself, because
So
Formula
funny, man.
One drivers, yeah, they look down on NASCAR drivers, and NASCAR drivers don't exactly, for the most part, are thrilled with F1 drivers. But okay, I get it. Your thoughts, though, on possibly a return to the world of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
So I liked the first one, but it was such a dark movie that I did not come out of it thinking like, oh, I want to see more of this. So I don't really know what I think right now. I did like Brad Pitt's character, so it's possible that I might be interested in watching this, but not really something I had lined up on my plate.
It's okay. Well, again, I liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I wasn't in love with it, but I liked it enough to go ahead and say, you know what, I could go ahead and see what comes out there. I do not like the fact the way they portray Bruce Lee in the film. I still have issues with that to this day. I know that you and I were talked about at the time of its release about that, but again, his character seemed entertaining and interesting enough that you could build upon whatever was created in that original movie and see where it goes from there. So
Yeah.
I could hang with that. I could hang with that. Um, the Running Man. Uh, are you ready for a Running Man revisited with Glenn Powell? You tell me your thoughts on this, because I like the Running Man. It is corny. It is very 80ish. It was directed by Starsky of Starsky and Hutch, Paul Michael Glazer. If people remember that way back when. It came full of one-liners from Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was very tongue-in-cheek. He looked straight into the camera because he could, because it was a reality TV show. It kind of foreshadowed in a different way reality TV shows in the future. But your thoughts on the Running Man, my friend?
Yeah, I mean it's looks like a movie for sure. I don't know, man. I did not have a history with the original one, and I mean, maybe I'm going to be more inclined to go see this new one. I like Glenn Powell. It seems like a lot of the movies he gets though are sequels to old movies or related to old movies in some way. So
He's just
uh,
cashing in, my friend. He is cashing in, and
for
yeah,
sure, this is his moment, this is his
yes.
years, and but yeah, I mean, like I said, if I see a trailer and it pulls me in, then I'll definitely go check it out.
we did get a lot of news on John Wick over the course of CinemaCon. Not only, John Wick 5 in development with Keanu Reeves. The rumors of his death were greatly exaggerated.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Now, an animated movie or series, a prequel, I believe it is going to be. Plus, they got to showcase Ballerina. Yes, it looks like Lionsgate is going all in on John Wick. Surprise, surprise that they're
Yeah.
going in on John Wick.
You know what's funny too is that Keanu Reeves is the kind of actor who would, just for, poops and giggles, make a movie 10 times. Like he would probably sit there and make 10 John Wick movies. If the fans wanted him to, he would do it for them.
Yep. Again, it's I didn't think he was dead at the end of John Wick 4, so spoilers there. Yeah, I don't know who they were kidding that was going to be the last one, because it certainly didn't feel like it, Josh. And with the success of John Wick 4, I didn't think they were even coming close to doing it. Now we see Ballerina, that's going to come out with Ana de Armas, and what's going on with this burgeoning world of the John Wick series. I don't know, what would you call it? This burgeoning world of Wick, the Wickiverse, the Wickverse. I don't
Maybe,
know.
yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, there you go. But let me go ahead. I'm going to post to you some of the best according to Gizmodo uh, on that, and I'll ask you, my friend, some of the more interesting. What were some more of the interesting news that that you have that there? What are some of the more interesting news that you saw from Comic Con, from CinemaCon? Excuse me. Anything stand out? Anything?
Um, yeah, sorry, man, I had to sneeze. Yeah, so okay, so I working in like the collectible industry, I sometimes get phone calls that say like, "Hey, we have this list of things that aren't allowed to be talked about, and we have, they won't be listed on the website. So it's just this piece of paper we have, and you need to tell us whether or not you want some." And so a lot of the stuff that I have ordered, like collectible wise, I they're for these movies that hadn't been announced until this weekend. So
Mhm.
I saw some of these properties. I'm like, I had no idea this was a movie coming out. So that being said, like I'm stoked to see that Predator Badlands is coming out. The Avatar movies, like I don't know anymore with those. Like I don't know if that's still a franchise I want to latch on to, or if it's just kind of it had its time and it needs to just kind of maybe go away. But needless to say, people go watch it. It'll make $1 billion. But I was excited to see Gareth Edwards directing this new Jurassic Park. I was unsure about whether or not I was going to go see this, but like Gareth Edwards is one of my favorite directors, and I'm willing to give this a chance because he is the king of monster movies. He did the original Godzilla. Remember back in the day, the one that spawned this whole Monarch verse or whatever. But yeah, no, he's really good. What was the other one? The 28 years later update was cool. Yeah, that one I was excited about.
Because that's evolving into two movies, is it
It,
not? If I'm,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they're splitting it
yeah,
into two, so that's exciting. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of remakes that seem a little unnecessary, but
yeah. Well, gee, that's a stretch for Hollywood, there, Josh. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
stretch.
and they finally gave word a actual word that the Legend of Zelda movie is being worked on. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of good stuff on the way, but I'm not too excited about anything else that seems to be coming out this year.
They showcased Avatar: Fire and Ash there. That's upcoming later this year. That's going to do a lot of money. Black Phone 2, a lot of sequels. Yeah, just a lot of sequels going on. Um, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Lionsgate also mentioned that the third movie in this trilogy, I don't know if it's going to be the last one or not, depends if it makes a lot of money, but this movie is going to be brought back with that crew. So get ready for another magic ride there. The Bride was Maggie Gyllenhaal's movie that came out, or excuse me, that she showcased at CinemaCon. You only got seen pictures so far of The Bride. It's now based off The Bride and Frankenstein. So we'll see how it, you know, that is going to be working out there. It's something where it might lean more towards, like you said, an art house film. And if it does, Josh, will it be accepted? Or if you put it out the right time, will it be? Because Nosferatu was also put out as far as a horror concept in a art film type showing and a format. And even though it was well received, it didn't make enough at the box office to really make an imprint. And that's what I'm worried about with The Bride. Final Destination Bloodlines and all the horror movies we know that are on the way. The Conjuring movie, that's the latest. It's supposed to be the last Conjuring. I'll believe it when I see it, Josh. Again, not a whole lot there that isn't known. You go with the How to Train Your Dragon live action, Wicked, the sequel, all these things that are going on there. But let me ask you a question, and I wish Rob was here for it. Rob McCallum, our good friend, the Masters of the Universe movie, which I know he's probably as a He-Man, he's filmed a documentary on He-Man.
Right.
So,
Yep.
it's just like a little bit of a sore subject for him. Uh, I wish he was directing it, by the way. Your thoughts? Are you concerned about that? I mean, it's got to be campy, and Skeletor has got to be more like the Geico commercials than Frank Langella in the original Masters of the Universe movie. I really think you've got to go over the top, corny, catch you on the flip, sucker. That type of Skeletor. Jared Leto, he's playing Skeletor, so I don't know how far he's going to go. If he goes
Yeah,
method acting and gets
he'll do a
serious,
he'll do a darker version of it, I'm sure.
if it's
But
Morbius again,
you know what's a shame is that Jared Leto is a really good actor. He just I don't know
hopefully
if
he will be in Tron Ares.
hopefully yeah, but I don't know if he just like takes crap roles or if that's all he can get. You know, like it's I don't necessarily know if he's a leading man, but anytime I've seen him as a support actor, like he's been absolutely fantastic. So I don't know. I mean, I hope he does. I hope that the movie does well, and it does look campy. I mean, you saw the pictures where Prince Adam was getting arrested by the police. Remember, and they had the sword. Did you see those pictures?
Yes, I did. Do, 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 do. I just got that in my head now. The song they played like 500,000 times on the original cartoon. Man,
Yeah,
got that in my brain. Oh my gosh.
it's
And then the
it's
PSA. You got to do a PSA in the end credits,
the more
Josh.
you know. Yep,
Yes.
yep.
Make
It's just
sure you look
it's
both ways before you cross the street from Prince Adam.
I'm sure that'll be some end credit scene, but it's a shame because the only people who are going to go see this movie are the people who grew up in that era.
Yeah.
This is not a property that is going to be in any way appealing to a modern audience in my personal opinion. I would hope though that it would grab the attention of people from like parents taking their kids to go see it and then kids going like, "Oh yeah, this movie's really cool." But it's just you look at the title and you look at the content of the movie and it's going to be a hard sell for these young up and comers.
All I'll say is this: when it comes down to it, Josh, you and I and Brank, I got to have a conversation on this on the Super BS games because something I've been actually asking for on the show is we need to go into detail on these older games, older IPs, older movies, whatnot, and really talk about that because you hit it right in the head. I'm not sure unless this movie doesn't take itself seriously, has a lot of fun, and really does something in a different format than what is expected. I really think it's not going to do well because you're banking on my age of
Mhm.
consumers. And that's a problem. That's something, again, I'd love to have this conversation on the Super BS Gamescast when it concerns video games, because I really think that now that there's so much of a gap in years between what I liked, what you liked,
Yeah.
even in the 90s, and now what is yeah, I think there's just a disconnect sometimes that still executives have when they greenlight these movies and
Mm.
video games. Yeah, so that's something we just have to discuss in the later point in time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Before we just finish our thoughts on Comic Con, anything else stick out to you excuse me, on CinemaCon? I keep calling it Comic Con. I know I want to go to Comic Con, but CinemaCon, is anything else stick out to you right now? Again, there's a lot of interesting stuff that's coming out, but nothing really eye catching this year. And I think that's the problem. I think that's the takeaway. There's nothing I see. Avatar is notwithstanding because Avatar is Avatar, but there's nothing on the way, Josh, that is really right now on the surface a must see, which is a concern for theater owners.
Okay, so for me, yeah, I mean, I agree. There's nothing in there that I looked at and I was like, oh, I'm stoked. Like Superman, I'm still on the fence about. Like I have to go see Superman and I will watch in the theaters, and it has to completely blow me away to even make me remotely interested in this new DC film universe. What was interesting though, like after they made the announcement of Avengers Doomsday, a lot of people online were saying, "Oh wow, I noticed that Julia Louis Dreyfus is not announced as a cast member of Doomsday." And it's because if you watch CinemaCon, they talked about how she was not. She's actually the main villain in Thunderbolts. So
Hmm.
spoiler alerts. Yeah, everyone thought they did a good job in the trailer at making you think that it was the Sentry, but it's actually her. So um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if they should have announced that or not, but the Thunderbolts is actually a movie I'm looking forward to.
I am. I have been as well for I've said it on the show for quite a while. I really like the Thunderbolts. I think it's going to be fun. If that's the thing, make it fun.
Yeah.
Make it enjoyable, make it fun. I know that my daughter was tracking the entire Marvel Disney showcase at CinemaCon, and she was talking about how the limo in that movie that was used for Red Guardian, that was actually at behind in the parking lot at Caesar's Palace is where they have
No.
CinemaCon,
Yeah.
and they marched all the Thunderbolts like in a procession out to there. And David Harbour did get to drive the did get to drive the limo, and they filmed it, and he was in full, I guess, as far as his accent is concerned, did the full Red Guardian accent to the whole 9 yards. So
I
they're
saw
having fun with it.
I saw a picture where Wyatt Russell had one of those drinks you could buy on the streets out on the strip.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they seem to be having a good time. And honestly, like that's one of the things that makes me want to go see this movie is that this cast looks so quirky in real life. Like can you imagine like how great it's probably going to be seeing them on the screen?
exactly. I'm just can't wait. But I think everybody's going to be asking themselves, is Taskmaster going to
Right, right.
Poor Taskmaster. Again, she's heading to the Starbucks and everybody's just quiet and just looking. Still got that picture in my mind. But what are your thoughts out there on CinemaCon? Last week's showcase for theater owners brought a line of surprises, but did it bring any potential hits on the horizon? Something that we didn't foresee, or a lot of us didn't foresee, unlike Josh, because he did foresee Minecraft. But is there another Minecraft on the way? What we're seeing, Tom Cruise was there even to promote his stuff. Talked
Everyone.
about his good, yeah. The rumors of him and Brad Pitt being enemies from their interview with the Vampire Days, that goes because he's talking about go karts that he used to drive after filming each and every night with Brad Pitt. So I think that one puts to bed. But they did also honor the late Val Kilmer as well. Rest in peace, Val. One of these days we should go into Val Kilmer and give him
Yeah.
his proper due. Maybe we can do that as early as next week. We'll go ahead and see. But your thoughts out there as he was promoting Tom Cruise, his Mission Impossible, which I am excited for. I did like last year's Mission Impossible. I am excited for this year's Mission Impossible. So, what are you excited for coming out of CinemaCon? Superman. Are you excited for Superman? Josh, any thoughts on the latest footage? Crypto full of Superman footage
It it looks like
and
it
getting a
has.
suntan, on top of it.
That's what I say. It looks like it has the potential to be filled with far too many jokes, and that's not. It's not what I want, man. But like I said, I'm gonna go in with an open mind. I am gonna watch it in the theaters, and if it does not hook me, I will probably not be revisiting this new DC universe because that's what James Gunn does. Jokes. That's what he's good at. That's what he's known for. And there's a time and a place, and I feel like he's going to overstep that.
So, what are your thoughts out there on CinemaCon? Please let us know. Popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. Well, before we head on out, I want to go ahead and touch on some things. We did talk about Tron, so looking forward to Tron Ares, but Devil May Cry on Netflix. I don't know if we will have time to talk about this at all on the Super BS Games Cast, my friend, but I did want to touch on it. Devil May Cry has come out as an animated series on Netflix. It's come out to really strong reviews. Your thoughts, my friend, on DMC on Netflix?
Okay, so I was sick on Friday and Saturday, and like I was relegated or locked in the
I
bedroom
hope you're
because.
feeling better, my friend.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was just a stomach bug, but yeah, I was stuck in the bedroom, so I didn't get the rest of the family sick, and I watched the entire series. So I will say this, all right. Devil May Cry it's a love letter to the early 2000s. Everything about it, right? You had the over the top, and anyone who's played the games knows this, right? You have the over the top action hero who's always filling the screen with sarcastic quips and one liners, like that's Dante. But also everything about it, even like to the soundtrack, right? You have Limp Bizkit's "Rollin'" in the intro. They played songs from Static X and Papa Roach and Evanescence. Like this was a song designed for kids who grew up playing these games, and they delivered. It is hyper violent, like I would say it even gives Invincible a run for its money. And it's not something that you want to watch around the kids because there are an insane amount of F words, but even more so than the games. Like they went over the top with that. But also, man, I tell you, like I don't want to get controversial here, but it speaks a lot of really strong commentary on what today's society looks like as far as like the way there's so much extreme religious views in politics. Like like from sitting there watching this, I'm like, oh man, I guess I didn't like really think about things like that until somebody put it on an animated show, and now I'm like, "Oh, I guess you're kind of right about this stuff." But yeah, man, I mean, I if I were to give it like out of 10, I would definitely give it'd be probably about a 9. Easy watch.
Wow.
Yeah, easy watch. The story's engaging. The Devil May Cry anime, I think that was made by Funimation, what,
Hmm.
10 plus years ago. Like that one was pretty bad, but this one was engaging. Dante wasn't over the top, and he was not ridiculous. He was, I don't know. He's just a more grounded character than how he's usually portrayed, and they didn't just recycle video game storylines. It was an original piece of work, and it was really good.
I'll tell you what, that's some high praise right there. So if you get a chance, everyone, check out DMC Devil May Cry on Netflix. Series is out now. It is, again, something that Josh highly recommends. If you're interested at all in the series, the IP, the long-standing video game series that it is, please check out Devil May Cry on Netflix and let us know your thoughts. Pop Culture Cosmos at yahoo.com. Well, before we get into the positive with the video game world with Xbox, I want to go ahead and touch on real quickly the Nintendo Switch 2, which you guys on the Super BS Gamescast will be going into detail your thoughts on it as far as the Nintendo Switch 2 on the Super BS Gamescast. So look for it on the YouTube channels for Humanican Media and then also as well the Pop Culture Cosmos, plus wherever you get your podcasts. I do want to ask you though, your thoughts. The intended day the Nintendo Switch 2 was going to send out pre-orders for it, because they did announce it. They announced price. They announced what was coming out with it as far as Mario Kart World. And I know we're going to get in touch, touch on this as far as price in heavy detail. The price may change on it very dramatically due to the tariffs that were just implemented the day of the announcement on Nintendo Switch 2. That in itself, I thought, was tone deaf on Nintendo's part to actually go ahead and, when it was announced ahead of time that there would be some announced tariffs on April 2nd. I think the last thing you want to do is go ahead and try and announce, a specific date and showcase your system then, because the shine totally got taken off from it. So your thoughts? The pre-orders were delayed now because Nintendo is reassessing what it needs to do in regards to this possible new frontier with tariffs involved and all that. The price could substantially get larger, more detailed. Again, I don't want to get into too many specifics on Nintendo Switch 2 as far as basic price that was announced or the games that was out, because you and I are really having some issues with it. But before we do, let's talk about the fact that the uncertainty now on when people in the United States may order the Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay, so part of me wonders if Nintendo kept this announcement date because they were, yeah, because what was it last time their tariffs discussed? Like, it was the same day those countries came back with something, and they're like, okay, well, we'll delay these for the next 3 months. But I also think that they didn't tell us what the pre-order date was on that day because they were kind of expecting this to happen. So I don't know, and it's unfortunate that they're in this position. I don't want to pay over $500 for a Nintendo Switch 2 because I think that that's absurd. But and you might as well just go out and buy a computer or a Steam Deck, but you wouldn't be able to play the Nintendo games. But yeah, man, this is like we're going into such weird territory here where literally everything is going to become insanely expensive. And we don't need to get into like politics and all that, but it's just like there's a lot of things going on, choices being made by people that don't really think about how it affects the average person because they're all in a completely separate tax bracket than the rest of us. And it's I just like I said, I just hope that it does not go over $500 because that's kind of outside the realm of what I would like to pay for something like that.
Yeah. I mean, the 449 was what I called. Okay, I got Minecraft way wrong, but I got the price. I stuck the landing on the
You were
price.
there, yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
But I didn't stick the price on Mario Kart World. $80. It's now $80 for the digital. And then if you want the physical, which again, it's just going to be a hollow cartridge basically that you're going to put in. It's just asking for a download link. That's going to
That
be
irritates me.
$10 more.
I
Yeah,
hate that.
before tariffs. Before tariffs. So it's going to be $90 for the physical version of it, Josh, which I know you're a big fan of. And
So
they're
you buy
basically
5 games and you pay basically for another Switch 2. Like, that's
yeah.
crazy to me just for a hollow shell.
And I don't want to. And I'm again paying 450 was something I wasn't going to do right away for a PS4 level handheld. No matter how good the first party games from Nintendo on it, again, it's just something that I'm not interested in. But I'm happy for a lot of people that they were. But now we don't even know. We don't know how much this is going to rise up as far as the tariffs are concerned. So right now we're in a waiting game on what Nintendo and the tariffs are going to do. So we'll see and we'll report on it. But again, I want to have a deep discussion with you on and Brank on this on the Super BS Super BS Games Cast this week. So
Yeah, that's
looking forward to it.
sounds good. I got a lot of thoughts, man.
Oh, before we get to there, let's get to some good news. You and I have been Xbox supporters for a long time now. I was trying to always stay neutral, but I always said it from the get-go, Xbox is the best value in gaming, which due to the high prices out there, when actually Michael Pachter was brought from Wedbush Securities, longtime video game analyst. A question was brought to him about the Xbox Series S being maybe a cost-effective alternative that could sell in mass when GTA 6 comes out. Just saying. We'll find out
Yeah.
exactly if that's going to be the case. But Xbox is going through renaissance right now with all the games that they've produced and putting out there right now. South of Midnight, which has also been reviewed pretty
Pretty sweet.
strongly.
Looks good.
Avowed, yeah, looks good. Avowed, I just finished Avowed, 73 hours.
Dang. How do you feel?
And
How was what was the satisfaction level when you were done?
pretty strong. I still wish I could have finished more. There's still nitpicking I still could have done, but it's an 8 out of 10 game for me. I really
Alright.
thought the gameplay, the looting is really a lot. It makes it interesting, a lot of fun. I still would have done some different things as far as the game design is concerned, but for what it was, again, it's a really good adventure. Highly recommended. 8 out of 10 for me. But yes, you've got those. You've got Indiana Jones to the Temple of Doom coming to the PlayStation 5, which again, at the time we kind of argued, why is it coming so soon after its initial release on Xbox? But again, Xbox is giving you a lot of stuff on Xbox. So now it can take that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, excuse me, the Great Circle, and be able to put that out there on PlayStation and sell a lot. Also, Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation can go out there and sell a lot because Xbox owners are getting a ton of good stuff. They're even getting, I think they're getting MLB The Show again for just the price of the Games Pass. Games Pass is the best value out there. If you don't realize it yet, you need to, because Xbox Games Pass, I believe it's where it's at right now and will be the thing to get here in 2025.
You know what's crazy to me is that Microsoft's missing like a golden opportunity by not printing these games physically, because like there
Yes.
are a lot of people out there, and I've just like, scouring the internet, and a lot of people are of the mind, were like, how cool would it be to have, this Xbox game with a PlayStation label on the top of it? So
Yep.
I think they're missing a golden opportunity. Me personally, like I would love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play Forza Horizon, just because like it's the most casual of casual games, and I could sit there and play it. I could play that game forever. Like it's such a great game, but I was really hoping to have it physically, and that's not going to happen.
Same here. Because that same thing for Avowed, for Indiana Jones, all these great games. Again, I'm just looking forward to seeing what Xbox has coming up next. The Oblivion remaster, remake, whatever you want to say it is, that I'm looking forward to seeing. But again, it's just coming right down to it. A lot of good things. I wish this would have been Xbox in 2019. If
Yeah,
this was Xbox in 2019, they could have reimagined the entire landscape of the video game industry after the fail of Xbox One. They could have brought all these things out in a row on Xbox Series S and X when it first came out, and it would have done gangbusters. I'm convinced it would have done gangbusters. Had they introduced, or actually, had they really refined Game Pass at that time,
yeah,
plus brought out all these games in a row that they're doing now, we're not even we're forgetting even about Call of Duty. This goes back to Call of Duty, and then you had all these games coming after it for Xbox. This
yeah,
is right now one of the best times ever for Xbox and Xbox fans.
yeah. I agree. And as for like releasing it back in the day, like I think they were trying to see if how their own Games Pass thing would work before they put it out. But I mean, they definitely could have done this a lot sooner, and really bridged that gap and created less hostilities between Xbox and PlayStation people.
Well, we'll see what's going to go ahead and continue for Xbox. But if you have any thoughts on how good it is to be an Xbox owner right now or a Games Pass player, or are you excited for the Xbox games that are coming to PlayStation? It's about Xbox, 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 baby. Enjoy it while you can, Xbox fans. But please let us know your thoughts. PopCultureCosmos at yahoo.com. Well, my friend, it's been a great episode as always. Much to discuss, but we got it right in time and within the hour. Any
Yep.
last thoughts before we head on out?
No, not that I know of, but just hang in there, everybody, and watch some movies, play some video games. The world is not as dark as you think.
I'll have to take your advice, my friend, and I'll just leave it at that because I'm 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 hoping you're right, and I'll leave it at that. But it's going to be something interesting to see, to say the least. So for Josh the Great Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the pop culture cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.
Welcome to the pop culture cosmos.